Reviewing the photos and video from a recent climb up BC's highest peak, it's almost like an outer body experience. 6 months after the adventure of a lifetime, sitting in a comfy living room, it hardly seems possible that I'd subject myself to that kind of cold, stormy weather. That's just what we did when climbing Mount Fairweather last spring. I was with Dean Wagner and Andrew Finley on assignment for British Columbia magazine. What footage I managed to get without freezing my fingers off gives a good example of what the trip was mostly like. You can see here that for nearly 2 weeks it was either snowing sideways, threatening to blow the tent away, or mostly clear and really, really cold. And sometimes it was all of that stuff at once. The summit of Fairweather is completely within BC, making it the highest peak in the province at 4,663 meters. Next door is Mount Quincy Adams, the second highest. This is probably one of the only British Columbia magazine stories where the participants spent most of their time sitting in a tent, and not really actually in BC whatsoever. After waiting all that time, reading every book twice, we finally had calm winds and clear skies to make a proper summit dig. The summit ridge is actually pretty broad, but it's got a lot of crevasses, and it was really cold. We think it was something around -60 with the wind chill. It definitely wasn't easy. All of us got frostbite, and we were so beat down by the altitude that we doubled over on top of our ice axes every third or fourth step. The view from the summit made up for it though. The Pacific Ocean was far below, and endless peaks were in every other direction. You'll have to read the story to see some of the images, but take my word for it that on the way down it was one of the best ski runs of our lives back to the tent. By that point we'd used up all of our reserves of patience and decided to use a satellite phone to call Paul, our pilot in Haines, to pick us up. Stormy weather like this is normal for this area, so the name Fairweather is a bit of a misnomer, but when conditions are right, it's an incredible place to be. The flight back to Haines was unforgettable, and we got to see a little sliver of BC that's probably one of the most spectacular and rarely visited. I want to say a special thanks to the editors of British Columbia magazine for sending us on the adventure of a lifetime. Be sure to check out the winter issue for a feature story on our Fairweather adventure.